Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to be changing the Footpeg Assembly on an x21rs. Right now this is on the passenger side or the right hand side of the bike. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this nut. We don't have to take the bolt off, just the nut. And we have to take this bolt out. You're going to need a 17 mil to take this nut off. And you may need a 15 mil for the other side if it decides to start to spin. This is for your swing arm, so a lot of the weight is sitting on this bolt, so it might not spin at all. So let's see what happens when we start to torque it off. Reach over and check to see if it's just turning. Nope. So the nut is coming off, so I won't need that 15 mil. So we got our nut. We'll just put it off to the side here. Then we're going to need the number 10 to take off this one. And once you have this nut, this bolt out, you can find it just simply pulls back. Okay, now when you have that pulled back, you're just gonna kind of turn it around like this without scratching anything. And you'll see there's two number 10s on the back of here. These two number 10s are actually to take your brake reservoir off. So we are gonna take our brake reservoir. Okay, so our brake reservoir is off. Okay, so when we're taking our reservoir off here, you're going to see down here in the bottom that there's a cotter pin. So you just have to bend that cotter pin up. I guess I could have just kept using my fingers, but... And we're just going to remove the cotter pin from the bottom. Just pull the pin out. And it releases. So now you're going to come to this issue here. You want to put your brake pedal, you want to make sure you still have that on your new assembly. So all you have to do is see you have a C-clip here. If you do not have the correct pliers, it's not a big deal. Just a flat screwdriver, you can push that off. There we go. You'll see I lifted it out of the groove on the one side. So I just want to go around, just keep doing that until it pops off. There we go. Let me have that. I'm going to straighten this out a bit, just for when I put it back on. If you do break this C-clamp, it happens. It's not a big deal. You can literally go to any AutoZone and buy a C-clamp kit for about $5, and it'll have the right size C-clamp in there. So we've got that off. We're just gonna put it to the side. We might as well just put it with our pin here for our brakes, and then we know where everything is. Next is we have to remove this spring here. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove the spring. Let's see if it's easier at the top. There we go. Okay, and we move our brake pedal off. Okay, and that's your whole assembly right here. Okay, so if I'm just gonna put the same one back on, it's not broke, there's nothing wrong with it. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're just gonna put it right back where it was. So again, you would take your brake, again, going about it from the inside, put it on. Most times, what I'm gonna do actually, is if you see here, it's all got rust on it and stuff. So this here can hinder how your brake pedal moves. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna give it a quick spray with some lube. I use WD-40. It's just a quick lube on the pin there, and that's it. And you'll notice that there's a little bit of rust inside there too, but look at how much more free that moves now. That's a lot more of what we want type thing. So we're gonna go ahead now, we're gonna put our spring back on. If you remember where your spring goes from this point to this point. So anytime you're putting a spring on, it's always easier to put it in the small hole and then pull it up with a sort of needle nose and put it in the big hole after. And that's it. So that you'll see how nice that moves now. It's not jamming up like it was before. So we'll make sure that that's all nice and down and tight. We're gonna put our C-clip back on. There's a lot of different ways to put a C-clip back on. Some people put it on one side and then try to move it over to the other side. That works. Both ways work. I like to usually just use my thumb and put it on. It's a lot easier. And then after, you can seat it back into the grooves with your screwdriver. See, there, that's back on. Beautiful, just like that. All right, so next, what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our pin back on for our brake. So that when you push your brake, when we put it back on, when you push your brake, it pulls down on the reservoir and applies the back brakes. So we're gonna put the pin in first. Our pin is right here. And we'll spin it around so we can get our cotter pin in there. Okay, so we're gonna put our cotter pin back in. And you just have to bend your cotter pin with your needle nose again, so it doesn't come out, and that's installed and perfect. Okay, so now you don't want to forget to put your brake reservoir back on. So we're going to put that back into place. We're going to take our 210 mils here. Oh. And when you're tightening these up, this is white metal, so it's very soft metal, so you don't want to over tighten. Just a good snug and that's it. There you go. So that's in place. So now that we have that all in place, our brakes are where we want them. We'll go ahead and slide it back on our swing arm shaft. When you swing it up, put it on the swing arm shaft, go ahead and put this bolt in first before you put your nut on. That way you have a little bit of motion, you can move it around if you have to. Again, this is against white metal, so it does not have to be too tight, just snug. Okay, and then you go ahead and put your last nut on. Again, that's a 17 mil. This bolt you want to be tight. This is for your rear swing arm, so you want it to be nice and snug on there. There you go. And that's how you change the foot peg assembly on an X21RS.